Alright, so this is going to be a quick little video on basically how to make a button, just as like a simple little thing. But I mean, obviously you can change it for whatever you want. Um, I just opened up Photoshop, and you can see right here it has this iOS iPhone app 120 by 120. So I'm just going to go with something like that. But I'm just going to do new, and I'll just make my own. So I'm just going to go, make sure you switch this to pixels. And then we're going to go width, we're going to do 120. And height, we will also do 120, okay? I'm thinking actually, let's do 90, okay? Or not this one, sorry. Do 120 here, and we'll do 90 here. I want it to be more of a rectangle. And then resolution is 72. Since we're doing something for this, like an emissive screen, meaning like a tablet or a monitor or whatever, you want to use 72, 300s for print. RGB color is good. Background contents white. Just do transparent. And square pixels, yada yada yada. You can make this a custom one if you're save this preset. I'm just gonna hit OK, and it's gonna be this little square here. Okay, yay! Now, so we're gonna make. If I hold Alt and use the mouse wheel, that can zoom in and out. You can also do Control plus and minus or Command plus and minus. You may have your own favorite way of doing it. Okay, this is basically what the issue is. We want to make a button. So basically, right now, if you were to make a button, okay, let me just delete this so you can see. So I'd go game object, and I would do UI, and I would just say a button, right? Now it automatically, let me come to the game here, automatically makes this little icon here, okay? That button, if we were to look at it here, is basically, it's a built-in image. It's this thing right here. You see how it's like a square? Oh, actually, it's 32 by 32. We should do ours 32 by 32. Let's go ahead and do that, because that makes things a little bit easier. So let's do new, and let's do 32 by 32. By 32. All right, good. Now it's the same as theirs. So I'm going to zoom in here. Okay. So back to this. What you're going to notice is it gets sliced, but if you look at down here, the way it gets sliced is in these thirds. Let me pull this up so you can see. Like this. And the reason why it's like that is that way this part gets stretched and this part gets stretched. But this always looks like this. Okay? This part is always in the corner no matter how the rest of it gets stretched. It doesn't get stretched as a whole. So what you need to do is have your curved part, or whatever part you want to have for your corners, goes here. And then these parts need to be straight. So when they get stretched, this one would be width-wise and this one height-wise. They're fine. So we need to basically do the same thing in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to View, and I'm going to do New Guide, and, oh, I'm sorry, not that one. View, New Guide Layout. And right now, if you were to see it, it's not really giving me, I think there's not enough pixels for it. I want to do 3 columns, okay? I don't know why it's giving me an error. With 0 for my margins, okay? So now I see there's 3 columns. All right, and then I need my number of rows, and I'm again going to make this 3. So the way this works is that you have columns and gutters. So if you ever do graphic design stuff, basically you'll notice that when you see things that are printed, they come in these columns, and then there's a space between each column. That's the gutter, and then obviously the column. But I'm going to make sure this is 0. So basically now I've divided it 3 by 3 by 3, and I'll hit OK. And now I have this nice little guide for me to work with. Okay, I'm getting a little bit closer here. All right, so basically now what I want to do is make the actual button. So this could be any number of things. What we're going to do is we're going to try to make this resolution independent. So even though we're working inside of Photoshop, I want to use we're inevitably going to export out a raster image. I want to work in vector. So I'm going to hold this down, and I'm just going to do the rounded rectangle tool, we'll say. Okay, you could do any one of these. You could make a more custom one. Whatever you want, but I just want to show you how to do it. So make sure you're on shape. Pixels will make a pixel shape. Shape will do vector. I'm gonna take my fill, and I'm gonna make it nothing at first. I'm gonna take my stroke, and we'll make it black, and we'll see with 1 pixel for now. And I'm just gonna go up to the corner here, and I'm gonna click, and I'm gonna drag to basically like that. All right, and now I have my stroke. So I'm looking at this, and it doesn't look that great. I'm going to go ahead and just change this to 2 pixels. All right, 2 pixels looks a little bit better. And then what I want to have for my color inside, I can have any number of things. I'm going to go ahead and just make this, let's do a gradient just to make it more interesting. So I'm going to choose a gradient. And all right, so I got this gradient, and let's say I want to make it look a little bit nicer. I want it to be a little more warm. So if I double click on this, it'll give me the option of what color to have there. And I'll just choose something like a warm brown. And if I double click on this one, I can choose what I want for the upper color. Okay, and then choose this. And now I have a button. Okay. So, that's a real basic one to do. Nothing too fancy. I'll show you how to make something a little more custom that, like, it's just going to be what it is. But I just want to show you how to make a quick, like, button like theirs would be that you could utilize in any sort of system. So, I'm just going to go ahead, and what we'll do is we'll do 2 of these. I'm just going to Control S for save. And I'm going to navigate to my project. And let's go to artwork, and I'm just gonna make a new folder in here. New folder, and I'm just gonna call it GUI. All right, and I'm just gonna call this button underscore master. Save. Okay, and then I'm gonna do save as, and that's the master. But the one I'm actually gonna bring in is gonna be a PNG, and we'll just call this one button. Oops, button. And we will save that. And okay. Alright, so now if I go into here, I can link in my... Oops, I didn't drop it in there yet, so hang on a second. I've got to open up this, and... So I'm going to go to my GUI here, and I'm going to copy this, Control C. So I'm going to copy that, and then I'm just going to go to, which actually I didn't make the folder yet. I'm just going to go ahead and go to my Uni one, this program, my assets. I'll make a new folder, and I'll just call it Sprites. Sprites. All right, and I'm just going to go ahead and paste that in here. Now if I go in here, it should show up. There it is. Okay. I can go to, where are you? There's the image. Boom. And... assets. Let's see, scene, assets. Where are you? Okay, we'll just do it this way. I'm going to drop this guy in there. And now that becomes my button. I need to adjust how it's sliced. So I'm going to go in here. And I am going to change the options here. So let me see. Sprite UI. Packing unit. Center. Sprite editor. Oh, actually, hang on one second. All right, so we got this here. I dropped it in there, but it's not really working so well right now. Right now, it's on. I think it was simple. So what I need to do is I need to adjust the way it was brought in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select the button over here in my sprites thing, where it was brought into my assets, and then I'm gonna go up here, and most of this is fine. The only thing I really want to change is I got to go to the sprite editor, and then down here I got to change this to 9, 9, 9, and 9. All right, left, right, top, bottom. So that way it's basically into this 9 sections. Okay, so when it gets cut up, only the center part is really gonna do all the stretching. Okay, then I'll hit apply, and I'll exit out of this, and that will be good there. And then I got to switch this from simple to sliced. And now you can see, no matter how I scale this, let me go to the scene here, frame it. You'll see no matter how I scale this, it always just does the center part, okay? So basically, you can make your own custom buttons by following that same basic process, okay? And I'm going to show you another way to make kind of GUI elements that may or may not, behoove you, okay? But that's how just to make a simple button.